going to see why it is interesting to come here during the low season. So concretely, when we are in, I'm going to talk really about Pattaya because it depends on the different area of the country. And concretely, the high season is between November and April, and concretely the low season is between May and October. So generally, the high season starts in the beginning of November, and generally it finishes at the end of April. And when you arrive at the beginning of May, concretely you see a really big difference about how many people can come here. You can see a really big difference about the hotel price also, and they have a lot of advantages to come here during the low season. Some people are thinking that during the low season it's rainy every time, it's rainy every day, and it's totally not the case, and moreover in a place like Pattaya. For a simple reason that generally, honestly, if there is maybe 2 months to avoid here where it can be really rainy and difficult, it's by experience August and September. August and September can be, in my opinion, the worst 2 months, or August to maybe middle October. But for the rest, when you are, for example, in May, when you are in June, when you are in July, the weather is very average, so it means you can have very nice day with very sunny days, and at the same time sometimes you can have little rain, or sometimes one big rain during 1 hour, and sometimes it's just cloudy, but it's just average, so it means you don't have a lot of rain. It depends of when you arrive in July, it's a little bit more, but if you are here in May you have a lot of very sunny days when you are in Pattaya, and generally you have just few rains. In June it is same. Even in July it's still totally convenient to come here. You can have sometimes good days. Generally it's cloudy, but it's not very rainy. It's really rainy in August and until middle of October. So if some people are thinking that maybe during 6 months it's rainy, it's totally not the case. It's just really August until middle October, and this is why it can be very interesting to come here in May, in June, in July. Even you can come here in October or in August and September. It's definitely not a problem. Yeah, I stay many times in August, in September, so it's not a problem, it's a possibility. But I think these 2 months are the worst for the temperature, for the weather, for the rain. But you come here in May, in June, in July, during this low season, it's very convenient. And outside of the weather, you need to understand that even if you come here in December, January, yes, it's sure the weather is very sunny, so it's amazing sunny days every day during this moment. But you need also to understand that during this moment you have many disadvantages. And for the weather you have also the pollution. So if you come here in December, January, you have a risk of pollution, and it's not better years after years, it is worse years after years. So I'm not going to tell you to avoid the high season, but you need to understand that. Me, for example, I'm sensitive to the pollution, to the air pollution, and I can have little bit problem in January here, in some days where really we can have some high level of pollution. It's not a lot, it's just maybe just few weeks. It's just few weeks and few specific days, but when you have this day, it's definitely not convenient, and it's better to not be too much outside. So you need to understand you can experience in January, for example, few days with a very bad air pollution, and you can see the smog, for example, on the beach here, and you have the mountain on the back here, on the mountain, so just the hill, and you can really see the smog in January during December, and during this season, during the low season, you have absolutely zero problem of pollution. The air is very good when you are during the low season, and you can see that here, you can see anything in the sky. So it is something also important to understand. Now, on the concrete things, why I like the low season now and maybe I'm going to avoid most years after years the high season. Already generally now the high season I spend not much that half of the high season. So generally now end of the year or January I prefer to go in another place, and since 2 years I spend the end of the years and the month of January in Da Nang, Vietnam, and it's very convenient because in Da Nang, Vietnam, during end of December, January, it is the low season. So it's very quiet in Da Nang in January and end of December. It's very quiet. So cost of living is very low during this season because it is a low season in Da Nang. After each year, it's little difficult about sometimes the weather in Da Nang because it's a little winter, so it means you have 20 degrees, it's not very hot, and it's generally cloudy, but I like also this in January to go in Da Nang. And it's most difficult for me to stay here during the high season for a simple reason that it's too crowded, too many traffic jam, too many people in the shopping mall, and yes, it's not very convenient. When you come here during the low season, you have many advantages. For sure, sometimes the weather is not extremely good, but it's so much more quiet. You go, for example, in the shopping mall, you can rest, not many people, you can go to sit in a coffee, you have every time nice space. You walk on the beach, for example, here it's not too busy, you just have little people, and it's very convenient. So it's never busy. If you want to take a drink during the nightlife, you have a lot of choice, and it's not busy. So really it's very good to not have everything busy. About the transportation and the traffic, also it can be really horrible during the high season, and during the low season it's very nice. For example, this road just on the back, this is a beach road, and this road, when you go, for example, at the end of this road until Central Festival, which is a big shopping mall here, you have maybe 1 kilometer, 2 kilometers. During the high season, it's traffic jam everywhere here during the afternoon. And you can spend 20 minutes or 25 minutes just to go in just to make 1 kilometer 5. And if you walk, it will be faster. But it's hot, so sometimes it's not, if it's at the middle of the day, it's not extremely convenient. So this is the problem. The traffic is generally horrible during the high season, while during the low season the traffic is it's convenient. It's not perfect, but there is a big difference. The problem is during the high season, in comparison of the infrastructure, there is too many people for the infrastructure, too many people for the size of the road, too many people for the infrastructure, and it's traffic jam every time, on the first road, on the second road, in many places. Why, when you come here during the low season, the infrastructure corresponds to the number of people during the low season, so it's so much better, and you don't have big traffic jam. It's so much better. Another big advantage is to come during the low season. Like now, it's very easy to find accommodation, but it's easy during the year, but during the low season you have so many choice, so many choice. So it means you have hotel available everywhere, and generally the price can be twice less expensive. So if you can find, for example, room here during the low season, totally convenient for maybe 700, 800, 900 baht. And if you go here during the high season, the same room can be the double price, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500, 600 for the same room. So there is a big difference for the price. For me, if I stay 1 month, I will pay the double for the accommodation during high season in comparison of the low season. So it's not a small difference. It's not 10%, 20%. It's generally a difference like the double price. Generally, it is a double price. And you can even find hotel for monthly rent. So if you go in hotel, you can ask if you want to stay, for example, 1 month. You can ask for monthly rent, and they propose many hotel monthly rate because they don't have too much occupancy during the low season. It's never full, so it's very possible in many hotels to have a monthly rate, and you can find really decent price with very good room during the low season. And one more time, all this during the low season. So during the low season, definitely prices, it's more interesting. About the traffic on the road, it's so much better. About the number of people, it's so much more convenient. After, some people like when it's very busy, very crowded, but when you are during the low season, you have every time there is people, there is tourists, but it's not too busy. It's correct, it's just normal. And like, for example, here on the beach, where in low season you have people, but it's not crowded, so it's very convenient. And when it's crowded, it's not extremely good. Sometimes you want to take the bus during the high season, it's very crowded, and yeah, you can stay in the traffic jam during 1 hour. If moreover you come from Jomtien, you want to go in the city center, sometimes you can put more than 1 hour to come here, for a simple reason that big traffic at this season can be just 20 minutes, for example. So it is a big difference. It is definitely a big difference. So prices are so much better. About the number of people, so much less people, so it's less busy, so you can rest, it's good. The only disadvantage is really the weather. But as I explained, the weather can be really bad in August, September. So May, June, July, it's not a big deal, it's not a big problem. May, June, July can be totally good about the weather, and you have many advantages to come here. Here itself, during low season, you want to sit in restaurants, in coffees, so it's never busy, so you can take the time, you have place, you have your space, and yes, definitely it is very nice. If I do the same video in the high season, what will be the difference? First, we will see probably a pollution problem here in January, and it will be probably very crowded on the beach front, and maybe crowded on this area. After, it depends of the day. If it's on here, it's because it's a weekend, but when you are during the low season, you walk on the beach, maybe Monday evening, Tuesday evening, or Wednesday, not evening, and after the afternoon for the sunset, it's very few people. Yes, a little bit more busy because it's Sunday, but if it's not Sunday, it's very generally quiet. Even on the beach, if you want to sit on the beach during the evening, when you are during this season, you have a space. Sometimes during the high season, it's very crowded, very crowded. So honestly, the only disadvantages can be the weather, but you have a lot of advantages. So I think the deal can be good. Maybe only August and September can be to avoid. And when you are here during the low season, you can see more people living. Here full time. So it means during the high season, it's very crowded with tourists coming just few days, 1 week, 2 weeks. And when it's during the low season, you can really see people who living here, or people who stay here, like me, for example, 1 month or 2 months, and then change. You can really see a difference between people living here, people expat, retired people, and more. I think the low season is very interesting. Yeah, I do advise people, it's great to come during the low season, and me now, I prefer the low season. Sometimes the weather can be a little difficult in some months, but it's not a lot of months, generally just only 2-3 months. And I think the advantages that you have in comparison, it's very great, because when it starts to be very crowded now during the high season, I don't really like. So I prefer to more come during the low season. So we are going to stop here for this video. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm going to put a link on the description, my work. I create a lot of content. I have also travel blog, different type of things, and for next video I'm going to see you.